Hai, Assalamualaikum. I'm Dr. Rasul and
I'm Dr. Syaira.
so hari ni punya topik Syai memang menarik lah. We are going to talk about melasma. Alright, so shall we straight go to the topic?
Boleh?
Alright, jom. So Syai, what is melasma? Ramai yang tertanya-tanya ni. Can you give some explanation?
Melasma. Okey. Melasma ni dia salah satu daripada chronic skin problem yang melibatkan hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
Maksudnya untuk masalah kulit yang melibatkan hyperpigmentasi, melasma ni salah satu yang common lah.
Right.
Tapi kebanyakan orang ingat melasma ni dia boleh affect bahagian muka sahaja, but actually it can also affect bahagian badan dan juga tangan, ya. And kalau orang tanya macam mana kita nak tahu yang tu melasma ke tak? Melasma ni biasanya dia symmetrical. Maksudnya dia akan dua-dua belah ada.
Yes.
Lepas tu dia macam bertumpuk-tumpuk lah, macam blotchy, and then dia macam brownish in colour. And in general melasma ni dia lebih common dekat wanita as compared to lelaki. Nisbah dia
1 into 4.
1 into 4. Maksudnya dalam satu
Kalau
lelaki,
seorang lelaki tu equivalent to 4 perempuan.
yang ada melasma. So it's more common in women.
Okay.
Tapi tak bermaksud lelaki tak boleh dapat lah, lelaki pun boleh dapat juga. And it can affect as young as from 20 years old, tapi paling common around 40s and above lah. 40s and above.
Right. I just nak add sikit lah. Sebab banyak patient yang akan datang kat kita, dia akan cakap jeragat. Doktor, I ada jeragat kan, and they will be referring to this pigmentation. Tapi jeragat ni is a headache. Macam pigmentation is jeragat, tapi under jeragat banyak benda.
Ada banyak.
So one of it is melasma.
And melasma ni yang paling actually very common. Very common.
Yang lain macam freckles and all that stuff lah. Melasma ni paling common yang kita tengok. Okay. Right.
Okay. So boss, kita dah roughly tahulah melasma tu apa, rupa dia macam mana. So now I'm sure ramai juga nak tahu apa sebenarnya yang menyebabkan melasma. Kenapa orang ni ada, kenapa orang ni tak ada?
Punca dia lah.
Can you elaborate more on it?
Alright, melasma ni yang paling common lah. Paling common is exposure to sunlight.
Okay.
Yang tu paling the biggest culprit. So orang yang actually kalau you tengok lah construction workers and all that stuff dalam usia 20-30 dah ada melasma sebab exposure to sunlight. So when it comes to light, people also tend to ask, how about computer, how about phone, how about cooking, sebab semua cahaya kan. It also plays a role. Small role tapi it plays a role lah. Apart from sunlight, yang paling common tu apa lagi is actually hormone. Alright, hormonal, that means even macam orang yang ambil oral contraception pill, hormone replacement therapy kan. Pregnancy is one of the most common. Dalam pregnancy we call it chlorasma or something, and butterfly punya, they will have a butterfly punya pigmentation, which is also melasma lah.
And I think this is why it's more common in women.
Yeah.
Because the hormone plays a role in melasma kan.
Then what else, since we cakap pasal medicine tadi kan, macam even IUCD. IUCD untuk
IUCD tu yang hormonal type. The one that release hormone.
Correct.
Kalau just like copper IUCD, it won't lah.
Betul. And then medication wise, ada juga setengah ubat, especially cancer medication, certain cancer medication yang boleh menyebabkan pigmentation juga. And cosmetic yang menyebabkan macam burning sensation, irritation lah. So that also can cause. Ada satu penyakit we always have to think lah. I mean, kalau patient tu datang dengan pigmentation, we also look out for dia punya thyroid, which is hypothyroid, thyroid yang rendah. So contoh ada symptoms of hypothyroid, suddenly putting on weight kan, rambut tiba-tiba gugur banyak, tiba-tiba dia menjadi lembab sikit, plus pigmentation, then always watch out for hypothyroidism. I think that's.
How about genetic, boss?
Genetic, this one very common lah orang tanya kan. Tapi memainkan peranan, there is certain percentage. Genetic plays a role.
Means kalau someone in your family members ada melasma, you have the high chances to develop melasma juga, betul tak?
Tapi there was one point you you cakap tadi kan, which is very important. Sebab some doctors pun kita macam focus more on face je. Betul. Melasma tak ada pun. Jeragat tu macam jeragat di melasma tu boleh juga datang di bahagian belakang body and also your shoulder and your arm. That's another thing we have to look out for.
So roughly that's the
main cause lah,
penyebab
punca
utama seseorang tu dapat melasma lah. Okay,
alright. Okay, Syai. The common presentation lah masa patient tu datang jumpa kita kan, dia cakap, doktor, I ni ada melasma, atau they won't say melasma actually, dia orang datang, doktor, I ni ada jeragat. And then when we actually examine kan, how are you going to make out and say, yang ni melasma?
Okay, so sometimes memang nampak macam a bit difficult to differentiate lah. Tapi melasma ni dia punya distinctive pattern dia, satu dia symmetrical.
Betul.
Maksudnya dia macam sama lah kanan kiri kan. Cuma mungkin size beza-beza tapi dua-dua ada. And then border dia irregular. It can be sehalus-halus macam freckle types of melasma, and it can even be macam besar, macam like a plug macam tu. And then kita boleh categorize from dia punya distribution juga. Ada 3 lah yang common. Centrofacial tu maksudnya dia ada dekat cheek, dia ada dekat forehead, dia ada dekat hidung, upper lip. Lepas tu kita ada malar pattern. Kalau malar pattern ni dia macam dekat area cheek dengan nose sahajalah. Lepas tu kita ada juga yang lateral pattern, dia macam dekat bahagian sini, dekat tepi ni je yang ada. So yang tu, daripada situ kita dah boleh, okay, this one looks like melasma. Okay, and then kadang-kadang daripada history kita tanya, bila start ada. Sometimes patient will voluntarily kata, since I pregnant, tiba-tiba dia naik. Lepas tu benda tu macam tak hilang-hilang since dia pregnant. So yang tu pun another clue that it's actually melasma. And then melasma ni kita boleh differentiate into 3 types according to dia punya deposit of melanin tu dekat mana. So ada epidermal, ada dermal dengan mixed type. Epidermal ni maksudnya dekat the outer layer lah. So dekat yang epidermal ni biasanya dia lebih darker, border dia nampak macam well defined lah and then dia lebih, kalau macam contoh kita treat, usually the epidermal melasma ni response better response. Kalau dermal dia macam nampak vague, border pun tak apa clear. So nama pun kalau dermal means dia dekat bahagian dalam lah.
So just to make them understand now, the epidermis tu luar,
sini, dermal kat sini. Yes. And dermal type ni biasanya macam
dia,
orang kata
respon dia susah sikit,
lah.
poor sikit.
Tak berapa bagus macam epidermal type. And the most common type sebenarnya mixed type. Maksudnya dia ada dua-dua.
Ada sikit kat epidermal.
Ada epidermal, ada dermal pun ada.
So now kan, there's another thing. How are we going to make sure yang ni epidermal ke dermal ke?
Okay, kita ada satu tool.
Apa dia?
Tada. Okay. So this one is actually a wood lamp. So how kita nak examine? Basically contoh macam you ada dekat sini kan, itu tutup lampu and then I buka lampu wood lamp ni.
Ada UV.
Dia akan emit UV light. So bila, kalau contoh melasma tu is epidermal, bila kita tengok under wood lamp ni dia akan lebih obvious. Kalau macam dia adalah dermal, kita tengok dia tak ada perubahan, dia nampak sama je. So kalau epidermal dia nampak lebih obvious. Kalau dermal tak nampak.
Kalau ada mix tu dia ada area yang terang, ada yang pudar.
So this is another tool yang kita guna lah untuk differentiate.
Actually this is very important tool. Tapi yang tadi you cakap, when examine tu memang kita kena tutup lampu. We have to tutup lampu and then examine properly. So this is very important sebab daripada mulanya kita boleh explain kat patient how the treatment is going to respond on the patient. So just to get them ready. Alright, very good.
Okay, so boss, kita dah tahu dah macam mana nak differentiate epidermal, dermal, melasma. So now banyak orang akan start tanya lah, so boleh dirawat ke? Boleh ke kita nak hilangkan melasma tu? Apa option treatment yang ada dekat luar?
Actually kan, yang ni consultation mengambil masa tau. Especially for melasma. Siap I ambil satu paper, draw graph semua.
Untuk bagi dia orang faham kan?
Sebab a lot of people think treatment okay lah, senang apa. Tapi melasma ni dia is a combination of treatment. I will divide it into 3. So dia nak pilih satu je memang tak dapat, 2 pun tak dapat. You have to take all 3. So number 1, it is very difficult to treat melasma tapi can be treated. Nombor 2, I will divide into 3. Nombor 1 adalah cream, nombor 2 tablets dan nombor 3 laser.
Okay.
Now when they ask me about creams, biasa cream yang kita guna macam hydroquinone 2 hingga 4% lah, 2 to 4%. And biasa kita tak guna lama sangat. We normally use about 3 months, 4 months, then we convert it lah. That's nombor 1. Nombor 2, cream macam vitamin C, kojic acid, arbutin, all these plays a role juga.
Skin brightening
agent. Nombor 3, even steroid. Mild steroid plays a role too. So ada juga macam triluma. There is actually a combination kan. Ada steroid pun ada.
Tretinoin dengan hydroquinone.
Kan. So macam mana it acts, I'll explain afterwards. Tapi second one, then I'll go to the tablet. Tablet pula most commonest being used, but patient tak tahu, ada patient keliru juga. Faham tak? When I say that word is macam tranexamic acid. Tranexamic acid ramai yang tanya, doktor, bukan ke gynae yang guna untuk memberhentikan atau when we have a very heavy flow dia berhentikan pendarahan ke apa-apa. Yes, gynae use for that, tapi skin ada satu sebab mengapa we use that. And then nombor 3, laser. Now I will explain this way. Just imagine cream tu akan serap masuk kulit dia dan mula lighten that area. Nombor 1. Now what does tranexamic acid do? Dia pergi block cycle yang menyebabkan atau menghasilkan melanin, which is pigment. Alright, that is what the tranexamic acid will do. So block tau. So pigmentation tak menjadi-jadi. At least 3-4 bulan kita bagi ubat tu tak keluar. Dan nombor 3, laser tu akan pecahkan pigment dia.
Pigment yang dah ada.
So just imagine this. 1, cream masuk, lighten up. Nombor 1. Nombor 2, I'm holding the cycle. Pigment baru tak menjadi. Dan nombor 3, saya pecahkan pigment yang sedia ada. So that is where you get that effect. Kan, this combination of treatment. Again, berapa laser I kena buat, doktor? Kan? Concept is the more laser I do, the better the outcome is. And sometimes we also do the laser every 2 weeks to 3 weeks once. Boleh tak buat sekali dalam 6 minggu? Boleh tak buat sekali dalam 2 bulan? The more frequent you do, the better result.
The faster you get the result lah.
So they have to understand this, that you have to go for all 3.
For them to get the
better
most,
result, better
result.
outcome. Then come another question, kan? Dia orang panggil apa? Soalan cepu mas ya. Then it comes, doktor, dia akan datang balik tak? Melasma, unfortunately, boleh datang balik.
We call it rebound melasma.
Yes, but in certain patient it doesn't come back, in certain patient it do. Tapi kita tak boleh cakap peratus tu datang balik macam mana. And normally it doesn't come as bad as what you had before lah. My last advice for the patient is, kan, you dah spend so much on money, on tablet, on cream and then on lasers, tapi sunscreen, sunblock tak pakai. No point lah kan. Yang tu macam pakai sarung. You macam pakai baju and protect that whole thing. So sunscreen is very very important. So Malaysian standard, lah SPF dia lebih kurang at least 30 and above.
30 to 50 lah.
30 to 50. Yeah.
But kalau I personally, kalau contoh patient tu memang ada prone to get hyperpigmentation, I would advise them to use at least P50 lah kalau dia nak keluar. Because they are very, orang kata, responsive towards sun. So kalau you nak kurangkan chances untuk develop new pigment, better use the highest SPF yang ada lah.
So I think that is the part, the treatment punya lah. So anything you want to add on, Syai, from that?
Basically, okay lah, since kita pun ada cakap ada certain like causes, contoh like hormone.
Okay.
Kalau contoh kita tahu the patient is taking some hormone replacement therapy ke apa ke, anything yang related to hormone, and that causes that patient to have melasma. If she is concerned, maybe kita terpaksa advise dia stop and look for other option lah. Sebab selagi benda tu ada dekat situ, she will still develop.
Punca lah.
Melasma tu still akan keluar because the hormone tu yang menyebabkan dia sentiasa keluar kan. Macam sunblock tadi you pun dah cakap. Basically I think that's all.
I just want to add one more, I terlupa. Yang masa saya cakap tablet tu, one of the commonest is tranexamic acid, and lagi satu glutathione.
Yes.
It also plays a role lah. Apart from antioxidant, it also lightens up the melasma. So melasma ni actually it is one big impact to everyone. Kan? we have almost every day patient come with melasma and we are using laser every day kan. Tapi adalah rawatan dia.
Tapi again lah, I pun nak pesan jugalah, sometimes they have, bila you ada melasma ni, you kena berpijak di bumi yang nyata, macam nak cakap sebab kadang-kadang they expect just by one session
dah
boleh hilang. It's very difficult to cater to this expectation, even though kita dah explain, but you must, maksudnya dia orang kena faham juga. Tak ada rawatan yang you buat sekali terus hilang, memang tak.
Actually kan, laser sekali tu kadang-kadang tak nampak langsung. Patient will be very disappointed. So macam yang cakap lah, realistic treatment and acceptance. Kena I terima lah. Whatever doktor you advise, kita buat insyaAllah kan?
Tapi kalau so far from what we see lah, patient-patient kita yang betul-betul follow kita punya treatment plans, memang Alhamdulillah so far nampak result. Cuma cepat ataupun lambat, itu je lah.
Kena banyak bersabar. Lagi satu I terlupa, kan?
Apa lagi?
Peeling. Apart from laser, can also combine with peeling.
Correct.
Even ada retinol peel, even few types of peel lah yang boleh menolong melasma. And also one more thing, IPL, intense pulse light. Dia bukan laser, nampak macam laser, it's not the laser, but it really help in pigmentation, especially melasma. Alright, I think we are okay with treatment. Alright.
I hope you guys enjoy our video. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Tapi hari ni apa, Bos?
Topik hari ni forget it. Who is supposed to